Hello, Virgos, and welcome to this, your July 2024 reading and predictions. A very warm welcome to each and every one of you. Let's dive right into your reading. We are going to start over here with this little itty bitty deck, calling in the energy of Virgo for July 2024. Today, we are going to look at what you don't see coming, what is unexpected, difficult influences and challenges. What are you focusing on? Apparently, we're focusing on dropping our cards on the floor. So let me just reach down and grab that card off the floor. Oh, that's always fun and exciting. So that's a great way to start off the reading, right? All right, one of your cards went all the way over there. Let's sort out what we have here. All right, it looks like you have a decision to make. You have the Seven of Cups coming up in your where you are at now. So this card depicts um, what's going on for you now as we leave the month of June and head into the month of July. So it looks like you've got a decision to make, and you have quite a number of options coming in for you. What else do we have coming up here? Um, Okay. I'm going to just do these in order here. Okay, 7 of Cups. 7 of Cups is about a decision. It's a decision where you have far too many choices, far too many options, and it can lead us to a place sometimes of going into maybe a fantasy land, of fantasizing and making a decision that is not based in reality. So be on the lookout for that, Virgo, as we move out of the month of June and into the month of July. It may be that the reason that you have so many choices being presented to you is that there's a burden of some kind, or you're feeling burdened. Sometimes when we have a lot of choices, um, it can also feel like a burden because you've got the 10 of Wands here. And 10 of Wands can feel like you are trying to climb up a mountain while at the same time carrying all of your brooms or wands or whatever the case may be. Now, one of the things that comes up with this particular card, the 10 of Wands, is that it is a card of a burden, either a burden that we are bearing. Perhaps we have too many choices and options available to us. But a lot of the time, Virgo, the 10 of Wands can indicate that we're carrying someone else's burden. And that can even go back to this 7 of Cups here, that it may be that we're holding on to someone else's burden. They're presenting choices to us. We already know our own path. We know what we want to do, but someone else doesn't know their path or their journey. And so they are looking at you to make choices and decisions on their behalf. And when that happens, yeah, life can get a little bit messy at that point. And I do sense here, because the very next card that you have is the Knight of Wands as well. Now, the Knight of Wands would typically depict someone who comes riding in on his horse. He's got his wand held high, and he's just got a fire in his belly to take action, something. Now, somehow, some way he wants to take action. The Knight of Wands coming in right after the 10 of Wands is indicating to me that someone is pushing you to make a sudden or rash decision on their behalf that you're not necessarily comfortable with, or maybe it's not actually on their behalf, but it does in some way directly affect them, but it's not your decision to have to make here, Virgo. It's their decision to make, but they're putting their burden, they're putting their stuff on you rather than being accountable to themselves. I really feel like there's somebody here who's not being accountable to themselves in your life, Virgo. I'm not picking up that this is you. It might be for a small minority of the Virgos, But I'm picking up, Virgo, that this is someone other than you that is being burdened with making a decision that's not yours to make. And the reason that the person is doing that, they're kind of sloughing off responsibility onto you so that if things don't turn out all sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns, they can blame you. Oh, well, you were the one that made that decision. Do you see how this is getting turned into a vicious circle? The reason that I wanted to bring up the vicious circle is the very next card that you have in your reading is the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is a card of karma. It is a card of what goes around comes around. What you put out there comes back to you. Okay. And I'm just sensing that. I mean, not just with the cards, but intuitively, psychically, Virgo, I'm sensing that someone around you is not being accountable to themselves and they're sloughing that burden off onto you because they don't want to be accountable or responsible for themselves. That's putting you kind of in a tough spot as you move into the summer months if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. Now, it's not all bad. The very last card that you have here is the Ten of Pentacles. And the Ten of Pentacles is a card of feeling like you're in a good place. It is feeling like you're in the, I mean, this is a card of put some away for a rainy day. And this card is indicating that you're in an abundant enough place to be able to save some of your energy for other people, to save some of your finances for yourself for a rainy day, and to just live life and enjoy life. And I get the sense that when you can get rid of this burden that's not really yours, and you are fully and solely accountable to yourself, Virgo, you're going to have the opportunity to move into this Ten of Pentacles. I want to point out as well, Virgo, here, that you have both the Ten of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles coming up. So pay close attention to the 10th of July. I think that with these two tens coming up, it's probably going to be important. Alternatively, pay attention to 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. It's just when we get two tens or two of any number coming up in a specific draw in the tarot, it can indicate, or even in an overall reading, it can indicate that that number is going to play an important role coming up. Let's take a look at what you're focusing on. And I can tell you, with recording some other videos earlier today, the fairies were acting a little naughty and just dumping cards out. So let's see what they come up with for you, Virgo, for what you are focusing on. We know that what we focus on, what we think about, where we put our mental attentions and even our emotional attentions is often what we are working towards manifesting consciously or unconsciously. All right. Okay, now that's interesting. We've got two cards very specifically that came out of the deck and fell out of the deck. I do have quite a number of other cards that chose not to fall back in. And I'm getting the sense at least one of these cards is yours. So let's give these a little mix. And if there is one more card for Virgo and what they're focusing on, could we have it, please? Okay, well, apparently there's three more cards for you. So let's take a look. Okay, first of all, in your focus, you have the Ego card. This card is the number 15 card from the Major Arcana of the Tarot, and this card corresponds to the Devil card. This is a card of temptation. This is a card of pay attention to the illusions that are going on in your life. Pay attention to the temptations that are going on in your life. This is making perfect sense that this card is coming out in what you're focusing on, because with what you had and where you are at now as you move out of June and into July, this sense that you're carrying around someone else's burden. Someone else wants you to make a decision on their behalf so that they can point a finger at you, but they are dangling a carrot, so to speak, in front of you in order to tempt you into playing their game. So be on the lookout for that. That makes sense that you've got the ego card here. Card of temptation. Next, you have the Princess of Summer. The Princess of Summer corresponds to the Page of Cups. Again, Page of Cups. Page of Cups can represent a compassionate friend, someone who comes in, who is there for you, can listen to you, someone you can bounce your ideas off of. But I do want to say the downside to the Princess of Summer or Page of Cups is that they tend to be a little bit naive sometimes. They will jump to certain conclusions, and that's reinforced by having this card come up right next to the ego. Okay. What happens is sometimes the Princess of Summer or Page of Cups makes decisions and choices that are not based on having the whole story. They hear part of the story, they jump to the conclusion, and then they make a choice or a decision. So I do want to say, Virgo, that as you move through the month of July, watch out for someone to come along who appears as though they're going to help you and support you, and that's all well and good. And they may, in fact, actually be a very supportive person, but also their counter side, their other side, um, their ego side is this ability or this desire to be kind of rash in what they do. So I get the sense that having these two cards together in your focus is you are focusing on learning lessons of the ego and temptation, and you're also focusing on learning the lessons of who to trust, who you can take advice from, who resonates for you, that type of scenario. There's a deep lesson coming up for you as you move through the month of July. You have the Ace of Winter here. This is corresponding to the Ace of Swords. It indicates that you do have a bright, brilliant new idea. It's just a thought at the moment. It's a little seed that's planted in your mind, but you're going, "Oh, could I do this? Can I get that out there? This is a neat idea." So you're thinking about that. That's going to require you to make a decision. And it's interesting that the Ace of Winter corresponds to the Ace of Swords, which is ruled by the mind, the mental element, the thoughts. So this is about a new idea that is coming out for you. And then you have the Two of Pentacles coming out, Two of Autumn. This card corresponds to needing to make a decision about money or, or career. So that's coming up for you because it may be that this new idea that you have may require you to make a decision about finances and career. Now, out of all of this, out of the ego and temptation and a friend that really wants to be a friend, but perhaps their advice might not be okay. This person, this Princess of Summer or Page of Cups that's coming in for you, they mean well. They do not mean you any kind of harm or they mean well. It's up to you, Virgo, to use your discernment as to how you take their advice. Do you take it fully to heart? Do you take it partially to heart? How do you go about doing this? That's going to move you into more of this decision about putting your new idea out there. But I have to tell you, the final card in what you're focusing on is success, overall success. You have the star here, and the star interestingly enough, is the second happiest card in the deck. We have 3 cards in the deck that are considered the happiest cards in the deck. First and foremost, we have the Sun, then we have the Star, then we have the 10 of Cups. And so this card really is indicating that whatever direction you decide to go, you are absolutely focusing upon the best possible outcome for yourself as well as for the other people that are around you. Um, Look to the future with hope and optimism. And given that this is what you're focusing on, if you focus on looking at the future with hope and optimism, that's what you're going to manifest is more good things. Let's take a look at difficult influences. I'm getting called to one of the mini decks. No, I am getting called to the other one. All right. Difficult influences and challenges for Virgo for July. One card has slipped out, 2 more have come out, and another one, and another one. Oh my goodness. Okay. We have the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is about being able to see things from a different perspective. I should probably hold that the right way for you to be able to see it. The Hanged Man. This is about being able to see things from a different perspective. You have the Tower coming out. You are not the first one to get the Tower this month, but you are the first one to get the Tower in difficult influences. This is indicating that there is absolutely a change on the horizon for you. Something is coming up. Reach over here and get your card. Yeah, follow your passion. 6 of Cups again, you already had. Nope, 6 of Cups. You had the 6 of Pentacles. Now you have the 6 of Cups coming up here. High Priestess and 7 of Wands. Okay, difficult influences, like I said. You're having difficulty seeing the bigger picture, seeing things from a different perspective. Okay. I get the sense that when it comes to friends and relationships, in some ways you may have had blinders on. You're seeing things from only one perspective. You're also seeing business and work from only one perspective. And when that happens, um, when we have those blinders on, it affects our ability to move forward in our lives. It affects our ability to be successful. So watch for that as a difficult influence. Like I said, you have the Tower coming up next. Tower is about sudden and unexpected change in your life. You're not the first one to have that. You have the 6 of Cups. 6 of Cups is a card of nostalgia. It's the card of remembering the past fondly. There's nothing wrong with that. Unless you start to see the past through rose-colored glasses and happen to call an ex in the middle of the night, that's the downside of this card. Now, given that you have this card in your difficult influences, it is an indication that the downside of this card is coming in during the month of July for you. That temptation to maybe call an ex, that temptation to, oh, if only we could go back to the past, if only we could return to the good old days. If you're having thoughts and emotions like that, rein them in. Rein them in because we can't go back and relive the past. You have the 7 of Wands in your difficult influences. The 7 of Wands is about feeling like you are being challenged, like people are not on your side. And this is confirmation that the initial part of your reading here with the 7 of Cups and 10 of Wands is that someone else is wanting you to carry their burden. Okay. And when you don't do their bidding, they're going to challenge you. And they're going to challenge your morals, your dedication. They're going to throw some temptations at you. So watch for that. Okay, the final 3 cards in your difficult influences. You have the 3 of Pentacles, which is about finding your passion and going after it. It's in your difficult influences. So this, and like I said here, over here, you have the Ace of Winter here, Ace of Swords, which is about coming up with a great new idea that you want to put out into the world. Three of Pentacles is about finding your passion. It may be that you're flip-flopping back and forth a little bit about what you're passionate about because you've come up with this new idea, but you're also still attached to the past. So watch for these energies, Virgo. All right, you have the Eight of Pentacles coming in here. You've got a lot of pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is about doing the work, putting in the work. You've got the ego over here. You've got a new idea. You want to get that new idea out into the world. You're not quite sure how. It's something that you're likely passionate about, but you're afraid to take those initial steps. Part of the reason that you're afraid to take those initial steps is you're not seeing the world from a different perspective. You're not seeing yourself as being the successful entrepreneur that you are and can be. You're also hesitant to put in the necessary work. Being a successful entrepreneur is hard work. This is in your challenges and difficult influences. So what this reading is basically saying is that you have everything you need in order to be able to achieve this 10 of Pentacles and the Star. You absolutely have everything you need, except for belief in yourself, Virgo. You have to believe in yourself. You have to trust yourself. You have to know deep down inside that you are passionate about this and you want to go after it. Finally, you have the High Priestess in your difficult influences. High Priestess is all about your intuition. This card in your difficult influences is indicating that part of the reason you have so many cards coming out in your difficult influences, including the Tower, part of the reason that you've got the Devil coming out over here, the Ego card coming out, is because you've lost touch with your intuition. And when you get back in touch with your intuition, that's when the magic is going to happen. Let's take a look at messages the universe wants you to hear. Messages from the universe for Virgo for July. Oh, I love that you got that message. Message from the universe. Worry is a wasted emotion. Worry is a wasted emotion. If you're worrying about what other people are going to think about you because you didn't make a decision based on what someone else wanted you to do. If you're worried about what other people are going to think, if you really truly tap in and follow your passion and put in the hard work, you're worried about people challenging you, you're wasting your time and your energy. Worry is a wasted emotion. Something that you needed to hear at this time. And patience is a virtue. Yes. Remember what I said over here with the Eight of Pentacles in your difficult influences? Being a successful entrepreneur is hard work. You have to put in your time every day. You have to be dedicated to it. And when you're going to put a new idea out into the world with this Ace of Swords, patience is a virtue. Let's take a look at what is coming up in your unexpected. Queen of Cups. Can't see what the other one is. Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups is the emotional queen. She is the queen that comes in with some emotional advice for you, emotional support. Um, then you have the Three of Swords coming in. Three of Swords is about needing to heal something emotional. It's interesting that you have the emotional, compassionate, empathetic queen coming in right next to the Three of Swords. This is an indication that there is something emotional that you need to heal, and there's a good chance that someone is coming in to help you and support you through this healing. When you have the opportunity to do that healing, um, you're going to be able to release this. This is the Ten of Wands. You've already had this card once, and now you have it again. Ten of Wands. They have the same meaning. This is about having a burden and carrying around a burden. You have an emotional burden. You have an emotional attachment to someone. I want to say this is more of an emotional attachment to their opinion of you. You don't want to upset or offend someone. When you can let go of that and heal that, you will be empowered. This queen, the Queen of Cups, has the ability to heal and empower. Specifically, heal and empower matters of emotional attachments. Okay? Emotional attachments are burdens. I get the sense that until you heal this emotional wound, things are going to be on hold for you for a little while longer. This is the Four of Cups. Four of Cups is a card of postponement. It's a card of not moving things ahead yet. It is not that things are put on hold indefinitely and never going to come to fruition. You do have the star here and what you're focusing on. So your ultimate goal is to get a new idea out into the world. But you've got some hurdles ahead of you, Virgo. I'm going to pull your cards for your final general overall outcome, but I do want to say that as you heal throughout the month of July, and I do feel like there is some deep, deep healing that's going to happen. My prediction is that by the end of the month, you are going to start to see some of this star energy come out into your life. Some of your faith in yourself to be empowered is going to come back. Where are we going for final general overall outcome? Okay. Final general overall outcome for Virgo, please. Yeah, great, great, great. Okay. I'm going to point out a couple of things here. This was the second card that came out. Okay. First of all, there are some dates for you to pay attention to in the month of July. First of all, we're going to look at the 10th of the month. You have the 10 of Wands twice, as well as the 10 of Pentacles coming up for you. You have the Six of Pentacles, as well as the Six of Cups coming in, as well as the Six of Cups a second time coming up in your reading. So the 10th and the 6th. And the other one that's going to be important for you is going to be the 7th. Okay. And you've got the 10 of Wands here. Yeah. I mean, all right, you're going to want to look at the 6th, the 7th, and the 10th. Pay close attention, Virgo. 6th, 7th, and 10th. Seven of Cups coming in for you again as your final general overall outcome, indicating that you do still have a decision that you're going to need to make. You do still have a lot of choices out in front of you. Queen of Pentacles is coming in. Queen of Pentacles is the most earthly queen. However, she is also the queen that is most deeply in touch with her intuition. She is grounded and yet deeply in touch with her intuition, which is kind of a unique feature. So pay attention to that. Remember, over here, you had the High Priestess in your difficult influences, indicating that you were perhaps having a little difficulty tapping into your intuition. This queen is coming along at the end of the month to help you tap into your intuition. You have the Six of Cups here in your final general overall outcome, indicating that you are still feeling a little nostalgic by the end of the month. They are mowing my lawn in the trailer park where I currently am. They are right outside my door every time I sit down to record. All right. This is a bit of a frustration for me. And I know that there are no coincidences. So the fact that I am getting frustrated at the very end of your reading, I can see that there's this aspect of things going full circle for you in the month of July. It starts off with the Seven of Cups. It's ending off with the Seven of Cups. In your difficult influences, you have the Six of Cups, and in your outcome, you have the Six of Cups again. This is indicating that there is something that is going full circle for you, most likely as a direct result of you needing to heal this emotional attachment to what other people think about you. And finally, your final general overall outcome, you have the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is a card of feeling like I'm on the verge of something. I'm on the verge of something big. Not quite there yet. Ten of Cups, like I said earlier, is one of the happiest cards in the deck. The Nine of Cups comes right before it. So this is the card of like being on the precipice of success. And that is exactly what I had predicted over here with the star, that by the end of July, you would be like right there on the verge of a success of some kind. So there you have it, Virgo. If you haven't already done so, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you are interested in booking a private consultation with me, all of my contact details are down below, along with affiliate links for all of the decks that I have used today. Thank you so much. See you in August.